Game started.
Gashead BR from the United Kingdom. Oh, let's try a D4 again. A D4 opening of some kind. Let's see, we had a Pierce last time I did this. But this could be a normal Queen's Pawn opening. Well, Benoni. Somewhat normal. Benko gambit. Okay, let's take. And then push. This is a way of declining the Benko gambit, and it prevents both files from being open so that I can play the move B3 here at some point to kind of shore up the queen side. And I can still get pretty decent pawn center over here with these pawns. So I think this is an okay way of playing against the Benko. And that's pretty typical. It's going to fianchetto the bishop and get pressure on this dark squared diagonal, which I have to be careful of at some point, but I can start, I think, with just some normal developing moves. It's a question of whether I can get a knight to c4. That's sometimes useful, but to get the knight to c4, I'd have to go knight f3, d2, c4. And you don't always have time for that maneuver, but let's start it. He didn't go. Yeah, he's going to go to that square. That'll challenge c4. Okay, I can castle now. He castles. Now I have to decide what I want to do here. Maybe defend this pawn so that I can develop my dark squared bishop. And get this out here. There may be ideas of pushing these central pawns forward, although his bishop here on b7 sort of keeps pressure on the center, so it makes it a little difficult for me to push. He has two pieces ganging up on d5 there. And I have to always be worried about little tricks involving, this knight coming out with a tempo and trading off this knight here. So is that any good? Oh, he's going to go to... his knight is going to go to e5 there. That's the idea. Okay. So let's get the rook off this diagonal. And let's just trade this knight off. And now I can push forward with b3 and then try to reroute this knight somewhere useful. He can take the bishop at any time. Yeah, let's get this b3 move in. This knight can go to a4, I guess, hitting his queen. And he takes off my bishop. That bishop wasn't the most impressive piece, but he does have the bishop pair now. Okay, and he moved his queen away from any tempo move with knight a4. Now, do I want to go to knight a4 anyway? That's the question. Or do I want to route that knight around somewhere else? Knight here to here. Knight here to here. Might be an idea. Bring this knight to e3. And from e3 it can go to c4. And so his dark squared bishop has got a big diagonal but not a lot of targets. And his light squared bishop is blocked in by the center. So hopefully I've got black pretty well bottled up here. Okay, he's stopping to think. That's a good sign. Run out of his programmed moves. His pre-programmed moves, he's got to think. Yeah, that's typical play with the Benko. Bring the rooks to the A and B files, and then just try and create some pawn weaknesses over there. He hasn't doubled. So yeah, I'm going to go for this knight c4 idea. And then can I play e5 here? That's the question. Pawn takes, bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. I can't play it just yet. So rook here. He is, after exchanges, he is going to leave me with a weak pawn here on b3. That is one of the issues with this setup. But I'm going to try and create some counterplay in the center here. And this b3 pawn, although it's weak, it's not falling immediately. It's got some time to live. Maybe I can push it on to b4 and dissolve it against this c5 pawn too. That's an idea. Rather than playing e5, play b4. If he moves the bishop out of the way, though, then after b4 he can just take it. So that'll sort of put the kibosh on that idea. He could also go bishop to a6. That's kind of interesting, trying to pin the knight. I would probably play queen to c2 to unpin. Okay, but he penetrates with the rook. So that leaves me with my two ideas here. I can either go b4 to get rid of this pawn weakness, or I can go d4. I think I like, d5, e5. I think I like b4 better. b4, he takes, I take. And let's see, he can try pinning my knight, but it's going to be defended. So I'll have time to unpin, I think. Okay, another think. So he goes for the pin immediately. So I can push the pawn. Let's see, what does that do? Doesn't help if I push, huh? Because he can just take it. So I can take on c4. He can take back with the queen. But his rook is hanging. So if I take, he'll probably trade rooks first and then take back. But then I have the rook to the back rank. Looks like that ought to be dangerous. So taking with the queen looks the most dangerous to me because, yeah, it hits this knight and it threatens here. I forgot about the threat on f7, f2 rather. But if he takes with the queen immediately, yeah, he trades rooks and then takes with the queen. But I still have that check on the back rank. This so it's not clear, but this queen takes c4 looks dangerous because it's hitting f2 and it's hitting the knight, but it's leaving the back rank unprotected. Oh, so he takes there. Okay, an interesting way to handle it. I assume I have to take back. Now what? Okay, he just moved his queen there. So he's trying to pile up on the back rank and pile up on my king at the same time. Here, let's unpin with the bishop here. This is kind of pin along this diagonal here. And he can put his rook on the back rank, and I will have to drop my queen back to defend. But I think that's good enough. But there is, this back rank mate threat here. It's also a threat against his back rank too, but he's got the the bishop that he can bring back to f1 to block things temporarily. So I wasn't sure about that other line. There was a check, bishop back, and then bishop to here to try and threaten mate. But he was threatening to check on f2 and just mate me here before I mate him. So I think he had something there. Well, we can check that out in the postmortem. Okay, another long think here. What's to do here? So I think, yeah, he's going to bring his rook back. My plan was just to bring my queen there to hold the back rank. So if he takes, I'm not really threatening to take his rook, but I'm trying to buy myself enough time to play a move like g3 so that my king can escape and not get mated on the back rank. And I can also consider pawn takes at some point. Yeah, so he's going to have a passed pawn in this scenario here. Let's get my space, my luft for the king. So I created that on a light square so his bishop can't harass the king there. And let's see, the pawns are even. It's 5 to 5. But what's going on here? He can take. If I take, then he's got this advanced pawn here, which I can blockade, and then bring my king over to try and try and win that pawn, or at least stop it from promoting.
Check.
I need the help of the king here. Yeah, that's a pretty clever maneuver he played there. He got this queen there and I can't take it. I need the king here. So he delivered that check first, which is the right way to do it. See, if my king is defending my queen, then he can't threaten to take it. But in this situation here, the queen supported by the pawn threatening my queen. That's how the queen and the pawn together can make progress. So let's bring the king in. If I can get my king to e2, I can put my queen back up here and even threaten to trade and then win this pawn with my king. I just have to get my king over close enough to stop this pawn after the queen trade. And yeah, that kind of slows me down. I can't put my king here or here unless he moves his queen like that, and then I can. So let's see, can I provoke a trade here? Oh, I could have just taken. That was silly. Just take. I didn't have to provoke a trade. Queen takes, pawn takes, king to d2, and then I round up that pawn. Now it's a little bit tricky because his king gets one step closer. Very annoying. Yeah, would have been much cleaner to take it the moment before. But he can't win this pawn. I'm sort of hoping if his king comes too far forward that that I can win with these pawns. But I don't know. Let's see. It's going to be a race, huh? So I go, he takes, I take, then I step forward and win this pawn, and then this one comes through while his king rounds up these pawns and tries to push these pawns forward. I think I'm a little bit closer. I didn't count that out exactly. So maybe that's what he's doing, counting it out now. Yeah, he takes. So if I push, he can ignore it. But then I'll take.
Check.
So I bring my king forward. Here. Take. Yeah, so he's going to queen here. I'm going to queen here. And let's think about this. What can I do here? I can move my king with check. That may be useful. If I could chase his king off this back rank, then I could
check.
I could deliver a skewer here and pick up his queen. Oh, I don't want to trade. I kind of want to attack this pawn, but I don't see... this square maybe attacks the pawn and leaves the queen pretty active. So, I have to fight for a draw here, I guess, barring any sudden activity or a mistake from black.
Check.
Okay, let's step closer to this pawn here. If he checks me here, I'm going to take. Pawn takes, king takes, and that's the draw. So he moves the pawn forward. Okay, let's go for more checks. A queen here to try and get in front of the pawn. And he's got this little cluster here where his pieces are all gathered around the pawn. So I don't see how I can break through easily. And my king is a little bit out of play here.
Check.
A dangerous position. Okay, so now I have to be worried about this check picking up the queen. So I need to stay off of this file. So I guess I go here. Drives my king even further away.
Check.
And I just go back. And he's
Check.
running really low on time. Maybe he's going to go for the repetition. I'll let
Check.
him repeat. If he wants a draw, I think that's a fair result in this position.
Check.
But if he wants to play for a win and lose on time,
Check.
then I'm not going to stop that either. So that's a draw.
Game drawn.
Okay, well, I escaped, but, well, it'd be nice to get a win in. Anyway, I'll upload that and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.